And hello, everybody, and welcome. It is Sunday, August 22nd, 2021, and we are kicking off Week 7 here in the Big Brother USA Season 23 house. I'm Dave Mader, joined with my brother Jeff Mader and co-host Jaemeel Robinson to talk about this week's episode, which kicked off with Sarah Beth's HOH, her winning the HOH and the fallout from Thursday, and eventually her nominations, as well as the High Roller Club. If you're joining us tonight, you may be with us on Facebook or on YouTube. We are also streaming for the first time ever on Twitch. This is a new platform for us here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting. So if you're catching us here for the first time, welcome. It's also the first time we're broadcasting via StreamYard, which is it's a different streaming service that we used previously. So if it looks a little different here on the overlay, that's part of it. So give us feedback and about how this broadcast goes tonight. But guys, how'd you feel about tonight's episode? Let's get into it.
Great.
Jeff, how about you?
Yeah. Good. I feel like the cookout is on the ledge of breaking, and I feel like Xavier was the perfect person to end up on the block at the end of this episode for that to be a potential reality, because Alyssa is safe, Sarah Beth is HOH, and the only person they really want to get out is DX. So if everything stays...
Uh-oh. Did I break Jeff when I did that?
Maybe.
Okay, Jaemeel, over to you.
As you can see, I'm so happy that we're on Twitch. Additionally, I think this was a good episode. This is going to be taking us into the end game of the episode. So very interesting. Something that we need to break down, especially with knowing what we know. So I would strongly advise folks, stay for the spoiler section, because if you don't know, you want to know.
Did I freeze there?
Yeah, you froze. Yeah. What happened with you?
Okay,
what happened on your
yeah,
end?
what I wanted to say, it just all three screens went loading.
Oh, okay. So it's probably just the connection.
It's because I have wireless, yeah, so that might happen. But anyway, I was just gonna say, I can finish my point from earlier, that I do think that the best possible situation is that DX gets picked for veto, wins the veto, takes Claire down, and then the cookout will implode. And I'm finally excited for this season, because all these players are playing for 6 people to win the game, and that's not a reality.
Well, yeah, that's true. Like, it was kind of okay. So this whole Sarah Beth HOH, Jeff, would you say it's, you have her in the draft? Are you a bit disappointed with how tonight went? With how she played this?
I don't understand, like, on one end where, like, Tiffany is talking about, like, oh, I'm scared, I feel like she's gonna come after me, and then Sarah Beth, the next scene, tells Kylan, oh, I'm good with Tiffany. What? How I don't understand how these things are going. This is the most confusing season of Big Brother I've watched, as far as understanding who is friends with who, who's aligned with who. Only thing we know is the cookout's the cookout, and that's it. That's really kind of how it goes, and I'm confused. Are you confused?
I'm a bit confused, but not really. It's more. Okay, I guess I will. Okay, so maybe those are not the same answer. I would say that I'm not confused. I just think that the power structure that's in place, which is the cookout, they didn't win power this week, but their strategy of making sure that if any non-cookout member wins, that they are sort of insulated by a key alliance member is effective. It's clear here that Kylan worked his relationship and his angles with Sarah Beth, which is kind of like when they said tonight, oh, Sarah Beth won the cookout. I'm not close with her if I'm Derek F or if I'm Xavier or whoever, but it doesn't really matter, because I'm counting that the relationship with Kylan will sort of be more important to Sarah Beth in Sarah Beth's case than anything else, and it worked here. And also, I think that the other disappointing part for me was that this whole high rollers room is, it's made them all afraid to do anything big. Not that they were already afraid to do big moves, this has only made it worse because they're like, oh, I wanted the power to come out, but I'm only going to put up 2 pawns because I want to play it safe. And and because this whole roulette thing was in play. So I don't know. I think that at least the way that the narrative was presented on the show, I didn't like that so much. I think that this twist is more of a hindrance than anything else.
Yeah. If this was like a game where there was more floaters and coasters hanging around and there wasn't really that much momentum in terms of the season, then something like this would kind of break up the monotony. But unfortunately, when you have a dominant alliance, they can control these games, and that's the problem, because they don't have to have one person just they don't need to have like a whole group kind of attack one of these special powers. They can just selectively have a couple, and they have the ability to control the situation. They can strategize because they have multiple swings at the bat. This isn't necessarily the intention of these powers, but it's being used now to kind of put an iron grip on the house guests in terms of what they're able to do, because they're so worried about like stepping on a landmine when there's already like been peppered with landmines with the cookout already in play. And Sam, nice to see you. Join us.
Yeah, Jeff, are you back with us? Because every time I show up a comment, Jeff
Jeff freezes.
At least the 2 times I've done it so far. Have we decided on a Survivor season to rewatch yet? Not yet, but we're thinking about it. Don't worry, we will get around to that in the off season.
The issue with that is we're going to have a Survivor season in a month, it seems.
Well, yeah, we'll be covering the new Survivor season probably before we do a rewatch, Sam. So, but we will come back to our rewatch series, likely with Josh Foster. Check out the ones. If you checked out the ones we've done so far, I would like to know what you thought of those. Okay, Jeff, is Jeff still kind of in Friesland? He's icy. Oh, there he goes. Okay. It's good to know that StreamYard and BeLive has the same issues with his connection. So that's good to see it there. Okay, so this whole thing tonight, I did enjoy a couple quotes here early on, Jaemeel, with Sarah Beth.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name's Sarah Beth.
Does it grate on you when
I know people that have that type of voice, so I'm more or less used to that. It's just kind of creepy sometimes, especially in the context of everyone else having a little bit of bass in their voice, and just her is just constantly that.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. She's that damn Sarah Beth, according to Derek F.
That damn Sarah Beth.
That damn Sarah Beth. And your little dog, too. But by the end, he was like, whatever. Who was, he was happy with Alyssa by the end. That was not Sarah Beth. He was just happy he was off. He didn't get evicted, Derek F. And then he got a kiss from Kyland.
I got a kiss from Kyleg. I'm happy. From
Kyleg. I'm sorry, not Kyland. So, right. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Tiffany too, because we saw that the power structure in the house was kind of freaking out. Sam commenting here from YouTube that like Tiffany's not going to last too much longer here. Her voice sounds like Misty from Pokemon. I'm not a Pokemon guy, and I wish Jeff was here at the moment to help qualify that.
Sam.
Is that accurate? Okay, let's have a listen to some Tiffany.
The least person in all my life.
Yeah, the least person in all my life.
My
last person I want to win. She was not happy with this Sarah Beth. She also had some arguments with Derek F tonight, which I'll skip ahead to a little bit.
We don't get nowhere. We not on the same page. We not cut from the same cloth. We ain't from the same nothing.
We ain't from the same nothing. So we different.
So we different.
Oh, we the same. We ain't come from the same
cloth. No, not even the same material. Not even the same sourcing. No.
I really want to hear Jeff's opinion about that argument, because I know he's been pretty down on Tiffany, feeling that she's been kind of very controlling of the house, Sam, yes, but at the same time, like Tiffany's not going to put up with people BSing her, and that was straight up DF BSing her on the situation, right? Like Tiffany was wrong to be talking to people the way she was, but at the same time, she's right. DF came into that situation with Brittany with attitude, right?
And Azza, right?
And Azza, that should have been sorted out well before this current situation here, right?
Yeah, like they
Actually took so long.
right. Yes, I agree. BB and also commented that the Tiffany and DF fight was intense, and I would not. Okay, if you're, could you empathize with Derek F in that conversation, or did you empathize more with Tiffany?
Well, I'm used to that type of conversation, so I don't have to empathize at all, right?
Okay,
he handled it poorly.
He handled it poorly. He was like, hold up, come on, you know. She okay. I thought that I felt bad for him. I felt like you are out of your depth here with this.
Sometimes you got to let the train, you know, come to a complete stop before you start to, like, you know, hop on that train. And he kept trying to, like, derail the conversation. I mean, stop her momentum because she was on a roll, right? You let her, and she's like, she's done. It's like, okay, you don't like patronize like Kylan at the same time, but you're like, okay, I understand what you said, and you're right. I was wrong. But at the same time, the way you were talking to Brittany wasn't cool. And I unfortunately didn't come with the proper way to kind of talk to you about that. At that kind of talking point, you're acknowledging her feelings. Two, at the same time, you acknowledge that what you did is wrong. But at the same time, you're telling her, hey, you didn't handle it well as well. Right? That's right. That's much better than saying, well, let's reset. Right?
Maybe we can agree to reset and come back to whatever. Let's find. Oh, geez, I have to find that now. Where's my Kylans? Well,
what if we drop the attitude on both of our parts?
And what if we just agree we bring in good intentions?
We are bringing good intentions and goodwill.
Were they bringing good intentions and goodwill, Derek F and Tiffany, to the conversation? No, I don't.
I think DF was trying to bring goodwill. Tiffany was, you can tell that anger was festering. And the moment that she, like, there's some keywords you don't say to people. You don't say to people that we're the same. You don't. Because they're going to say, no, we're not the same, right? I'm coming at a different place than you, right? It's the same thing as, like, unless you have a relationship, don't call people brother. Don't. I don't do it. All right. I personally don't like it.
Who used the word? They used the word. Who said brother?
No one did. I'm just using it as an example. That's all.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
Right? Don't assume a relationship's at a certain point until you get that acknowledgement, that confirmation.
Yeah, right. And so, sorry. How do I
Her voice sounds like Misty from Pokemon. I love it, Sam.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I think that no one likes to be told what they are or who they are. Oh, there he is. Welcome back, Jeff.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Jeff, just the last little bit.
Jeff, can you tell us? I know you're a Pokemon fan. Would you say that Tiffany sounds like Misty from Pokemon?
I mean, sort of.
So yeah. if Misty was from Crenshaw,
yeah, yes, then yes. Oh yeah, Amanda and I did pick up on this, that like when she was talking to Derek F, like she definitely had like a different vernacular, a different like even speech pattern when she was talking to Derek F compared to like some of the other people she talks to in the house. And so I did notice that there was definitely a difference.
The hood came out.
Yeah, the hood came out a bit. Yeah.
Well, we were just talking about how Derek F. He said like we're cut from the same cloth, and she. That's the word. Jaemeel was explaining that is the worst thing you can do. Don't ever tell people who or what they are or what they think in advance. And especially Tiffany, I think in particular. Flip
side of that, I think, is Tiffany needs to realize this is a game, and it's better to put Derek F into a false sense of security than to overtly know you guys aren't on the same page and will never be. Like, so that's how I felt anyway about that scene. I agreed with Tiffany, but I didn't agree with her methods.
Yeah.
Okay, and Jaemeel, my question here about the cookout, because they every week every episode I feel like this alliance is on the verge of crumbling, of imploding. But then it's always intercut with these testimonials, these diary room sessions where they're like, whether it be Azza, whether it be Derek F, whether it be Tiffany, they're like, no, I'm all good with this cookout. I am solid cookout to the end, even though this is intercut with conversations where they're about to kill each other, or they not getting along very well, at least. Sometimes, which has made them such an effective alliance, because everyone's like, there's no chance these people are working together. They barely can stand each other. So
this is the reality. Like, when people talk about Big Brother is like society at work or a social experiment, this is society at work. Sometimes, and I'm going to say this from my perspective, if people disagree, that's cool, but I just see the biggest stumbling block a lot of times for a lot of Black people is other Black people. The biggest cheerleader for some Black people are other Black people. And it's like this weird dynamic that occurs, because at times we can put ourselves in other people's positions, and we want to see them succeed, because at the same time we can see ourselves through them. But at the same time, you see people and you're like, you're such an idiot, and why are you being such an idiot? And we're additionally angry because, once again, we can see ourselves in these other people, and we're like, Jaemeel, why are you being so dumb, Jaemeel? Right?
You're kind of describing like family almost.
Well, yeah, it's like an extended family.
I think it's more like how people describe liberals or left wingers. If they could actually get on the same page, they could kind of have a better chance against the right wingers. But there's more infighting amongst left wingers than there are right wingers. You know what I mean?
But isn't there other thing that the infighting is sort of secondary, right? Like, it's sort of like, well, they're doing it, yes, they're fighting and they're calling, and they don't necessarily all love each other per se, but they have each other's back, I guess.
In the same breath that they will denounce other left wingers, they'll also denounce the right wingers and say, we got to stick together.
Yeah. That's I look at it almost like political. Like, I don't know why, but like that's what just clicks in my brain when I see it, because I'm like, yeah, like why don't because it's not like a dynamic I find like with another social group, because it's just let's face it, like the Black population was oppressed for hundreds of years, and we're living in this reality where they're trying to come out of it where they can really be equals and seen as equals on all fronts, and especially a reality TV show. And we're on season 23 of Big Brother, and we've never had somebody Black get past 4th place. So that's a thing, and I do understand why the cookout started, but this whole thing in the DR where they're saying, I just want to get the cookout. I'm just cookout all the way. I don't care about my closest friend in the house who happens to be Claire or happens to be DX and Hannah's. Like, I don't care about that. I only care about the cookout. I think this is strange because it's 6 people can't win the game. You're already past the point where a Black person's getting past 4th place, but they're like, no, we want a Black person to win no matter what, so we have to make sure that's the final 6. And I don't know if that's gonna work out, for 5 other people. And so,
I think if you're Tiffany, you're making sure that maybe we're the final 6, but guess who 7th is? Claire, because I will make sure my person goes last, right? My pet non-cookout member, like in Kylan's case, Sarah Beth, right? And he was working that angle all tonight and was very effective. Clearly, like, we were all hoping Sarah Beth was going to go rogue and do what she wanted, but disappointing. She didn't know what she wanted to do, Dave. Like, she was like, "What do I do?" And like,
she's kind of being told like, yeah, well, no, don't do that, and like they're finally starting to. Daniel Reyes, but isn't she kind of? I guess. Okay, so fair enough. But I had heard that from somebody else that they never gotten past fourth place. But I think what's important here is the fact that I think they want to make sure someone wins. You know, that is African American or half black, half like Latino, or in Hannah's case, half black, half Indian. So, I don't get why they all have the same allegiance to that. Like, there's not one member that says, no, like I'm playing along with the cookout, but once we get to a certain point, I'm stabbing them in the back.
I think it has to do with image or being the perceived as the one who to turn on the alliance first. I think Jaemeel and I, we have been talking about this, is like whoever turns on this alliance first, and Tiffany was the most likely candidate right from the beginning, right from the start of the cookout. She's like, I like all six of us can't win. I will ride this a little bit. And that was what Tiffany said almost from the start of it. And now the narrative has changed. It's now like, it's almost like this is to make history, to make Big Brother history, right? And to say like, nobody saw it coming. We all work together. Everyone, think we can't work together, and we do. And so we kind of prove everybody wrong. But when I think as they get closer to that money, I think that's going to get a lot harder because only one of you can win. And I'm sure Tiffany would rather it be her than Derek F.
At this point, yeah, definitely.
Right, like, or even Azza or whomever. So I think like seeing how this cookout alliance plays out, like, and how when they do eventually have to turn on each other and when that comes is always interesting, right? It's always interesting to see how these majority alliances play out. We got a comment here that Xavier had said to the cameras that the cookout was for Davon and Bailey and Swaggy C and Candace, Howard, Howie, Libra. So every black player in the history of the game. Is that what they're?
No Gary Glitter. Oh, we're not counting.
Not counting the Canadians. Not counting the Canadians. Yeah.
And I guess Daniel Reyes, kind of got lost to the wind a little bit in this. Even though she was a fantastic player, but the thing is, that happened in Big
lost
Brother 3.
On a technicality.
Yeah, and she lost on a technicality. I wonder if she had not lost on that technicality, would we still be having this conversation?
Very good point.
Today. Maybe.
But like all these players that at least listed here that from Xavier, like these are all bad players. Like
I think Howard was never gonna have a chance to win. And
Howard's the best one, mate. I don't know Libra and Ollie, so I don't know how good those two are. But
Swaggy C wasn't gonna win. We've seen Bailey more than enough that
Bailey's one of the worst players I've ever seen. Like, in some ways, and Davon bad in other ways. Like,
she's entertaining. She's the entertainment factor for
Davon's a great TV character.
Yeah, but winning this game,
Davon is an objectively bad Big Brother player. I say I had Davon in the draft.
Was a great TV character.
The Jun song.
Yeah, Jun is like amazing, and people sleep on her a little bit too much.
First Asian American to win Big Brother, followed by Casey, who's of Filipino descent, I believe, and Josh Martinez, first Hispanic. So minorities have won. It's just the biggest minority in the United States has not won. Or Daniel Reyes is black. You're saying?
Yes.
I think Latinos are a bigger.
Here's the thing about it. Here's the grand scheme. Jun winning to Casey winning. There's a huge gap. There's a huge gap, right? So let's keep that in mind. I understand wanting to take control of the game, and in terms of like African Americans in Big Brother, they tend to not make it very far into the game. Like majority are eliminated pre-jury, and then only a speckle. Right?
I think
make it past that.
I think that the reason for that is somewhat practical. I think that it's like, that you have a story, you have something you can say. I can be the first black winner or something, and if I'm sitting next to you in final two, people are more likely to vote for you for that reason. So I wouldn't want to sit in the final two with the one black cast member necessarily.
Well, at the same time, you also have people who have similar backgrounds grouping up together. And the way that Big Brother has casted for a good portion of years, especially in the middle, is a very lot of the same kind of 20 something people from like New York who have a similar background and ambitions to go to Hollywood or social media. And it hasn't really been like aligned with like the single minority that's there, right? Whether it be Asian or Black or Hispanic, it's been very rare that you've kind of seen that connection kind of carry through that you see with other demographics, I should say.
Right. Like I don't think that white people are going to vote for a white person at the end.
Like
to
we haven't
win,
had
just, like, or some way it might. But go ahead, Jeff. Jeff.
Sorry, we haven't had this narrative in Survivor. You know, like the last few seasons, we've had like Jeremy, the firefighter from Boston, win. We had was the guy the furniture guy guy, he won. You know, like it's just this is not a narrative in Survivor, and I think a big part. Vesepia won. Like there's been Earl won. You know, so there's been quite a few African American winners in Survivor. Whereas I feel like in Big Brother, it is a different dynamic because there's an HOH and there's a person in power and they put up two people. And the fact that like we have to wait a week and then it's inevitable that this person's going home. And then everyone goes, this is why this person's going home, because they are the visible minority in the house. It is a very different dynamic. And I do think that it's more important for Big Brother to cast like proportionately as far as like more minorities in the house.
I think you have to be proportionally overrepresented than the vice versa. I think is better.
Right.
But we can debate that.
We've had this conversation before, and I said that I don't necessarily feel that to be the case. I feel that there should be you try to do the best cast, but at the same time you don't fall into the same type of like. For the last couple of like seasons, it's felt like the same type of template over and over and over and over again, right? With like some minor like changes. All I'm saying is just change it up. Just change it up, however, right?
Right.
That's all that needs to be done. Don't just follow the similar template. Like, look at the casting for Big Brother like 2 and 3, right? It seems a little like very different than what it is now with the amount of older people, right? In general, like older people is the demographic I feel that's underrepresented a lot in Big Brother in the last 15 years, right?
You're more likely to see an older player in Survivor, I find. But
and it's not like you can't find like older hot people.
Right. Well, I think if you look at the quote unquote racist season of Survivor, which was the Cook Islands, right? Where we look at the final 3 of that season, it was an Asian man, an Hispanic man, and a Black woman made the final 3.
No, Asian woman, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
Was it? No, I think it was a Black woman. It might have been an Asian woman, but maybe I'm wrong. Pretty sure it was a Black woman. But anyway, like this is like. I do think that does change and the thing is in that season they were in the minority and there was a mutiny thing that happened and the white side of the tribes all banded up and then they all turned on each other. It was the complete opposite narrative that like we think of ourselves with the African American narrative where they so I do think that the casting really, really does matter.
I think just having diversity is important, and I think having different types of people is like not just ethnicity, but like sexual orientation or whatever, like political views, walks of life, places in the country. I think all of it gives you can give you a better product. I don't think it's necessarily like a guarantee either. You have to I think casting is a very delicate thing. I think trying to get the right mix, seeing how these people are going to interact and who's eventually going to gravitate towards each other. I don't even know if the best casters who've been doing these shows for years can really know what to expect. Maybe it would be interesting to interview one and get that perspective.
So, Becky Lee, it was Asian,
right? But who was fourth?
Aussie, and then you had Yule. So
and who finished? Who finished fourth?
Fourth was Sundra, I think. Am I correct?
A black woman, right?
Let me double check.
Right. I'm pretty sure that like the minorities, they were in the disadvantage in that season, and then they came back like huge, and yeah, it was because they stuck together, kind of like what's going on here with the cookout. So,
Coming here from Sam, if you play in the Canadian version, you know, if you're a Newfie player, you got to represent for the Newfies. Not a derogatory term for me. And you know that's, I guess, you know, if you have a tribe or some, you know, a group that you sort of feel a membership to, but I don't know if I don't, other than Canadian. So
you could argue that though, Sam, also with Quebecers, because they have a different language, more so, almost more so with Quebecers,
right? But yeah, like
that. You feel the obligation to act more of a representative to, you know, a culture or an area, but like Jimmy from New York, he doesn't have that same burden. Oh no, people are going to think poorly of people from New York. Long Island has such a terrible representation on media. I can't, you know, do anything too crazy.
I don't know. Gina Marie did take Staten Island down a peg for me. I gotta tell you. Staten Island, Gina Marie.
Well, where's Brent Champagne from? Was he Long Island?
I think he was Long Island. Yeah.
Long Island sounds like Long Island.
Yeah. Yes, and the Newfies have slang that the rest of Canada will not understand. Well, you have accents we don't understand either. Like that. Was it Adam who played 2 seasons ago? I could hardly ever understand him. He needed subtitles.
There's no subtitles when you're playing the game though in the house, right? So.
No, exactly. Okay, so we had a lot of things from Tiffany tonight. Big D and Tiffany, we talked about that. Kylan told us tonight that him and Xavier are extremely tight in this house. He's like my relationship with. So that's kind of one of the. We kind of knew this about Kylan and Xavier, but it's been talked about maybe for the first time, like these two alphas working together, and being loyal to each other, not targeting each other yet. And seeing, I think that they would love to be in like the final 3 together, or final 2. And then we also had DX and Claire were figuring out the cookout tonight in the bathroom, like because they were there with Tiffany, and they're like, "What about Xavier?" And they're like, "Do you notice how she always deflects off Xavier?" And then they kind of
Dave, how did it take them that long to like figure that out? Like it's week 7 or something.
It's so weird.
Well, okay, like Derek X is like learning this game as he goes, but
Claire Bear
there, she should know, like, not that there's a cookout per se, but like there's an alliance and how to make. I would think I would be able to scope out these alliances, but a lot of times people can't figure out who is working with who. Is it that hard?
Just now, all of a sudden, DX is going, "Hey, I think there might be alliances going on in this house, and there's gotta be, right?" You know, like he's telling the DR. I'm just like, what? I'm just scratching my head. I'm just like, what?
if you're in the game and there isn't a big alliance, all that should tell you is that there is a big alliance. You're just not in it. That's
so and I guess you can joke about it. You can just you know, in this situation, oh yeah, we're all working against you, ha ha ha. But yeah, they actually are. And like you saw here when Claire even suggested to Derek X tonight that, well, what about Hannah? She could be in on this. And he goes, it stunned him to think that Hannah might not be honest with him fully, right? Like and it occurred to him, but Claire kind of says like, I think that could be true. I think Claire might not be, or Hannah might not be.
How naive are these players? Yeah, how naive are these players, Dave? Like what is going on? Like I feel like they're amateurs compared to what I watched 10 years ago.
They're the new blood. I don't know what to tell you. They I don't know. Derek X, he's not like maybe if he played again he would be better. But Claire
he's playing again. He has to play again.
You want to see a Derek X repeat
for like
All Stars or something?
All Stars down the road, sure, yeah.
He'd be interesting to watch. I think he'd be targeted really early if he played again. But maybe not. You know, because he's such a comp threat, and people might want to just pull him into an alliance.
Honestly, I think he is probably going to be the only one that's going to come from this season.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because I think a lot
Maybe
of people
Xavier.
are gonna, maybe
If he
but-
wins.
No, if he loses, he's not come back if he wins. Because whoever wins is going to get like this was like such a BS season because Dominant Alliance just took over the game and like I don't see. I think maybe one Xavier, if he doesn't win, is going to be brought back.
Right.
I think Jameel's right about that.
Maybe
They're not only are they not good players, they're not really good TV characters for the most part. Most of them, right? Like, I mean, they're kind
Tiffany
of
is.
blah. They seem to have a lot of fun with each other in the house, but they don't seem to care about entertaining the audience, whether it's the game or the DR. So
some of them more than others. Some of them definitely don't. I think that you see that, or some of them just don't know how. Just don't have that skill set. Like I think we're seeing Kylan and Claire are completely. They I never seen two less likable people in the DR than these two. But
I want to take a nap every time they're talking, especially Kylan. I just want to
Kylan.
go to get
brutal.
tucked in. Yeah. I just like he's so chill. Like, can we give him like a Red Bull or something? Like I just need him a little bit more excited. You know, like
that's maximum
that's it.
Kylan excitement you will get. DX said that they were messful and they would have to meet on day one. They never meet again. Yeah. Well, okay. Just moving through the episode. I have another question about tonight's episode. Big D and Azza had a conversation tonight where they were, Big D was like, Sarah Beth's reign of terror is going to fall down on us and we're going to end up on the block. This seemed to be early in her HOH, when they were just like kind of freaking out that she had won. And then Azza led some kind of a prayer. I don't know what exactly it was. I didn't pull the audio. It was sort of it's sort of incoherent. I didn't have quite time to pull it. But what was this? And
she was testifying.
She was it was like gospel. It was almost like she was like preaching.
Yeah. Yes.
Speaking in tongues?
No, she was not speaking in tongues. What you need to do is go, and then she gets a point to the and then start bouncing up. Yes. Don't worry, Dave. I'll take you.
Is that what you do? I only know the wild card.
Yes.
There are churches like that. There are churches like that too. You can get that.
That is such a
rock churches.
Yeah.
Amen, Jaemeel.
Amen.
Dave, you didn't talk about why she was doing that. It was because she was very upset Brittany was gone. The person she would have went to final two had there not been this cookout.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about that for a second. Azza, okay, they're just weird. They're just a bit weird, quirky, eccentric, whatever. Azza, Derek F, Brittany, the Joker's team as it was, even Frenchie when he was there. It was this team that is just made up of some of like the most erratic people in the house. I don't know, and that's why they've never had much power or any agency in this house.
Am I right in saying that if I came back and it was finale night and Azza won the game, I would be like, what the hell happened while I was gone in these episodes for this outcome to occur? Because right now it looks like, what is going on with her?
I don't know. She can't win.
She can't win a competition. Yeah.
She falls on her face a lot. Mm-hmm. She's hung up about Brittany.
That's her boo.
Brittany.
That's her boo.
Okay. Teach their own. Okay. Let's just talk more about Sarah Beth was talking about her targets tonight. Xavier, Alyssa, DX were kind of the people she had named. She didn't want to put up Derek X in the game. She wanted to backdoor him, even though we talked about that there's only 9 people left in the house. 6 people playing the veto. So your chances of like keeping him out of the veto are kind of low anyway. But if you don't nominate him, I guess they go up. They're not zero. And then but ultimately she just was cautious. She ends up putting up Derek F and Claire instead, but says privately in the diary rooms she wants Derek X out. I don't know. Does Kylan want Derek X out now? Could take it or leave it.
That's for spoilers, Dave. That's for spoilers.
That's for spoilers. Okay, I'm gonna get there.
You cut up, Jeff?
Right.
No, I want it to be a surprise. So I'm gonna let you break it to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would have read it, but when you said you want to know, I'm gonna wait. I want to be surprised by what you tell me.
Yeah. Do you think that? Okay. Here's another question: is Derek F doing a good job, or is it worthwhile for him to lie to Sarah Beth about how many BB bucks he has?
No one cares about Derek F and what he does in this house. I mean, if he gets to the end, he's a goat. Straight up.
the problem is people already know where the bodies are laying in terms of the BB bucks. Everyone has figured it out. And then for him to lie, it just makes him look even more sketch.
More sketch.
Right?
It's pretty
Sketch.
sus.
And
Yeah,
it's
sus.
just like, why lie at this point? Right? You'd like, okay, so he has it and he competes, or he has it and he doesn't compete. What does it matter?
They can't control him. That's what matters to them.
That's a little sus.
A little sus.
It's definitely sus, but at the same time, like, he's playing a different version of Big Brother than the whole rest of the house, and it's get to the end, and I'm a genius social player, and he's gonna make his pitch at the end if he gets there. How it won't work, but in his head, it's gonna work. Everyone's a hero of their own story, and he is definitely the hero of his story.
Do you think he can argue against Xavier?
He's giving me lawyer vibes.
That would be his argument.
The thing is, he could argue against a Claire or a Sarah Beth just
Or
based on this
Ozza.
whole cookout argument, or Ozza even, because he has done more than Ozza too. Yeah, that's true. So, like, I do think that he should be thinking that way, and this is what I mean about the cookout. Like, why? I mean, he doesn't have power, so I guess. But if he did, or he had the opportunity to have power, I wonder what decision he would make. But we're not getting those situations.
You don't get those details.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, like, if Derek F got power at any point in this game, what he would do. I don't like this point. I don't think it would be service the entertainment factor so much. I think he would do maybe what Kylan tells him to do.
No, I don't think so. I think he would do whatever the hell he wanted to do, because only people that we already told us this season, the only people that tell him what to do are God and his mother, and they're both not there.
Yeah. Or Kylan if he gives him a kiss.
Yeah, I got a kiss from Kylan. I'm happy.
Yeah, if he gets a kiss from Kylan, he's happy. The whole BB bucks thing tonight. So the people who got $100 were Claire, Derek F, and Derek X. But Derek X chose not to use it. Was this the smart move for Derek X, Jeff?
No, I think he should have played, and I think he would have beat Alyssa's number.
But he wants to play in the something of destiny or something. The coin of destiny. That was all again, like these twists, like they're trying to work
I
them.
don't care. Yeah, I don't care. Like, I didn't even know tonight that they were going to do a roulette wheel. I thought it was just Sarah Beth who's going to get to decide, but no, it's a roulette wheel. And so, yeah, like I didn't know. I didn't care. I just let the show me what they're going to do. And then we'll go, carry on.
Was the roulette wheel a good thing, Jaemeel? The way that this played out afterwards, was that fun, exciting?
Yeah, guess yes.
But Xavier is now nominated for no good reason, like random chance.
There is no good. There is no good reason for anything. Whenever it comes to these special powers and stuff, it's just stuff happens, and then rarely do we see it actually affect the big alliance. So what does it do right now? Who's on the block? Dave, tell me who's on the block right now.
Well, Xavier and Claire are on the block right now.
Does Claire have enough votes to stay in the game?
No.
She could.
Okay.
She could.
When DF was on the block against Claire, did Claire have enough votes to stay in the game?
No.
No. But
So
Xavier-
no, yeah, I agree with you. Whether it's Derek F on the block or Xavier on the block, but what if it had ended up with like, I guess okay, the fact that Alyssa took down Derek F here too was also why Derek F? Why take him down? What does Alyssa got to do with him?
She didn't explain it, so we don't know. This is what's so frustrating about this season is that nobody knows why they're doing what they're doing.
Well, she kind of explains it. She says in the episode that that Derek F is like she thinks Derek F's the GOAT.
Right. But they again, so whoever sits beside him is going home. Little does she know, Claire's the one going home anyway. You know, like that's the thing. Like she doesn't even know.
So she did that. Oh yeah, she took Derek F down so that Claire would maybe stay. Is that kind of the thought?
Right. Well, or the bigger threat, which is Xavier, but she's aligned with. She would have probably preferred Kylan went up in that spot, and that would have been a nice, middle finger to as Sarah Beth had that happen, but it didn't.
She called him the ultimate pawn because nobody, like, I guess nobody considers him a threat. They don't think he's going to win competitions. Yeah,
but
and
also can't win anything either. Like he's not the only one.
Yeah. It's all about winning. The people who were like not popular tonight: Ozza, Sarah Beth, Tiffany, Kylan. They all got $50 only. Who do you think took it the hardest?
Kylan.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Kylan took it the hardest.
He's like, oh, America, you probably think that I'm in a good thing, so that's why you gave me the low money. So I appreciate it. It's like,
please,
yeah.
Please, nobody hate me because obviously I'm controlling this house and for no real motives other than that I'm with Xavier, basically, and like we're just the two strong guys are trying to get to the end together. That's kind of what I see his game as, right?
Exactly what it is. Like it's the pretty boy from Big Brother Canada 7, if I'm right, if I have my seasons right, or even like last in Big Brother Canada 9 with Jedson and Tashawn, like they're kind of
the triple,
the triangle. But I don't know who Beth is in the situation. I guess it would be maybe Tiffany, but there's no romance involved, so it's not quite apples to apples. But but yeah, it's like basically like between Kylan and Xavier, and they keep Derek X like thinking he's good or he's one of their friends or whatever. But that's really just in case he wins. And they'll take him out first, and they believe that winning is power and control. And
don't you think
they're kind of right?
Don't you think like that conversation we saw where Kylan's like, well, if you go against the HOH, that's really not a good move there, Derek X. Like, don't you think that isn't that like a huge green sign? Go and play it. Like it should be. It should basically be like you're gonna get put on the block here. If you can't read that in the house, like I just don't understand. Like, this season is driving me nuts because there's so many bad players. Even the good players are bad players. Really, Tiffany's the only savvy player in the house, and I'm kind of going for her. She's savvy,
but she's too reactive. She tries too hard to control everything. And if she could like ease back a bit, Tiffany would be a much better player. I think she has much more all-star potential because I see a good player in her who is just too erratic, too reactive, tempered with wisdom and maybe a second time in there where, you can kind of lay back. I think she could be better, but this Sarah Beth HOH shows that she's got these jitters. She's got this anxiety that she can't seem to get around. And the thing is, like, she, like a lot of other players like Tiffany, when you're in control, you're so afraid of losing control. Any threat to losing that control will be sort of attacked. And when people are in that house, like just trying to deal with that energy, I think is so uncomfortable consciously or more subconsciously.
Tiffany hasn't won a damn thing, Dave. She's, we're talking about how Derek F can't win anything. Tiffany hasn't won anything. And yet she's at the top of the house somehow. You know?
So it's not just about competitions. Obviously, like Tiffany has all this value to alliances and to the structure.
Other winners have won with a resume where they didn't win until the very end.
Very few players have done that.
Yep.
Yeah. It's something. Okay, did we get through all the episode? I think we did.
Yes, we did.
All right. I just see if there's anything else. Okay. Okay, we got a comment here. Well, I think that Tiffany was the one that came up with the plan about having a person.
Yeah, which also when that happened, Mary, I criticized her because I thought she was being way too overt with her alliance, the cookout. Yet little did I know that the cookout would try to literally take it to 6. And like Amanda said to me tonight, well, I find that admirable that the alliance is sticking together. And I said to her, I don't find it admirable because 6 people can't win this game, and nobody's even like telling us in the DR what their plan is once it gets to 6. It's just get to 6, and then apparently that's when the confetti's going to shoot, and and they're all going to walk out
together.
yeah. Where nobody wins. We're actually going to buy like a TGI Fridays together. We're going to split the profits, and it's going to be great.
Look, a 6-person alliance going to final 6 is great for the people on the top of the alliance. You're like, way to go, good for you guys. But then you have the dummies at the bottom, and you're like, you put yourself in this position. I don't feel sorry for you one bit, Derek F. Azza.
Well, and to BB's point, your odds are better once you get to 6 or 3 or whatever. Like, but you have to win too. You also have to think.
Yeah, whenever people say you have a 1 in 6 chance, it's like, no, you don't have a 1 in 6 chance because you have to win to be able to. You don't have an equal shot of winning HOH or winning a veto to protect yourself. So it's not necessarily an equal chance, right? If all things were equal, yes. But it's not equal. These people are not equally skilled, right? Equally able.
That's why I think, guys, tonight with the whole Xavier being on the block, even though the cookout's a thing and they've been so loyal, do you not find that tempting if you are players like Hannah, like Azza, like Derek F, to not go after Xavier and get him out of the house now? Like, he is such a huge threat, and not just socially, because he is, but also competition-wise. And so, like, to me, I would definitely want to get him out over Claire, because Claire's in the dark, and she has no real alliance with anybody other than Tiffany, sort of. You know what I mean? Like, so why wouldn't you want to take that shot?
Would they, though? Oh, sorry. The last comment was from BB Bean. Without the alliance, you would have been evicted before Final 6. Really? Would Derek F be eliminated before Final 6? He's GOAT Master Supreme.
I think Ozzo would be.
Right, one of those two are perfect goats.
I think Ozzo would have been could or would have been voted out earlier had she not been in the cookout. But that would be the only one, right? Because she seems to be. She's just Ozza's Ozza, so it's like I don't want to.
Maybe Hannah, like, because Sarah Beth was going after her, and if the Kings had more power and that kind of a thing, maybe Sarah Beth goes home that week. I mean, Hannah goes home that week instead of whoever did. I forget.
Sure.
Was it Brent or was it? No, it was the one after Brent. Forget.
Whitney.
Anyway, Whitney. Yeah, when Whitney went home, I think maybe Hannah would have went home instead there. But that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right, and we were saying, like, we were sure, like, on Thursday that the nominations were likely going to be Hannah and DX, and neither of them seized the block tonight.
I thought it was going to be Claire and DX, because, everyone's been... That's what I said that Kylan was definitely going to do, and that's what he did. And, first thing right off the bat, he was like, Claire and DX, because, one, they're both not in the cookout, and 2, they want to get DX out. And then Sarah Beth shut that down tonight, said, no, we got to backdoor him. Which I was happy that she didn't get to pick the nominee there and we did the wheel because she didn't put DX on the block. And so now, like I said, Xavier's a huge threat. Nobody was ever going to put him on the block, and now he's sitting there.
Well, I hope he survives this because I have him in the draft, and he's all I got left. Frenchie is, I don't think, going to come back in any kind of buyback. Okay, so we're going to get into the spoiler section, talk about, I think that we likely have a veto winner and everything else. So here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, we are now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can catch us here Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays after every episode of Big Brother USA. Check it out, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We also do other podcasts here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, including Marvel Cinematic Universe content. We'll be doing Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings next week when that comes out. We have to actually schedule that. But check that out. We've talked about WandaVision. We talked about all the 2021 releases from Marvel so far. And we talk about Survivor and different things. I guess we have a Survivor season coming up too, right? Next month. So probably when Big Brother's ending, we'll get Survivor as well. So
Wednesdays.
So we cover all kinds of shows here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, Westworld, Netflix shows like The Serpent and Tiger King and things like that. Also, we have a Star Trek channel. It's called Live Long and Podcast, dedicated to Star Trek. We're also going to be doing that on Twitch now too. So that's on Monday nights. We talk about Star Trek, the original series, with our dad, Ted. We've got 10 episodes left. We're doing That Which Remains tomorrow. On Tuesday nights, we talk about Star Trek Deep Space Nine. What episode are we doing next? I can't even remember. But
I don't know. It's
the one.
It's a good one. It's season 4.
Yeah.
Season 4, yeah, check it out. And then also on Thursdays, we talk about Star Trek Lower Decks in season 2. That's about 7:00 on there. Yes, and let's put that up for posterity. Twitch. Woo!
Yeah.
Yes. And lastly, we have Trivial Debates, our monthly show where we argue about movies, TV, sports, and more.
Questions are going to be submitted right after this.
Questions are going out. Jaemeel is hosting next Sunday on our other channel, Trivial Debates. I don't have the poster queued up. I just realized I didn't load that in advance, but I will get that going. And so check all those out. I think that's our show, but we're going to talk about spoilers next, so stick around. And on that note, we are going to play our special spoiler warning with Miss Brittany herself. Guys, I'm so this is all new here on StreamYard, so I have to get used to this.
It's me.
It's me.
Great job. Okay, so we're into spoilers now. If you don't want to know, don't listen. All right, but if you'd like to kind of talk about get on there. And we got a comment here from just a Sam question about, are these original Star Treks? Yeah, we do Monday night Star Trek original series, and then we talk about all the Star Trek shows. And Jaemeel, are you
Tuesday, Deep Space Nine?
Are you on Price is Right? I don't know why he's asking that.
I've been on the live version, like the tour. I've been on the Price is Right in the tour. I've never been on the actual, syndicated daytime show.
Okay, so but you've been there
on the live touring show,
right? Which
isn't televised.
Oh, well, that's still cool. I think that's still cool. Okay, but spoilers, guys. We got to talk about Big Brother 23. Okay, there was a veto.
Let's warm up first. In terms of how Sarah Beth came to her decision, when Sarah Beth won HOH, she said, I'm not going to do it like Kyland. I'm going to make my decision. There's not going to be one-on-one conversations. I'm not going to spend all night debating this. I'm going to get rest, so I'm well rested. So what does she do? She has the conversations we see with various groups, sometimes 2 or 3 people, sometimes 1, and then she has her decision, to which her and Kyland are in the HOH room, and they talk all night, right? And she only ends up with two hours of sleep, right? Overall, right? Okay. And basically, Kyland totally knows this woman and controls her HOH. So
how did this happen? You told me this wouldn't happen, Jaemeel. You said that Sarah Beth was strong.
Did I say?
Well, something. You said something like that she wasn't gonna let Kyland tell her. She was been waiting for her chance to unleash.
She's smart.
She's smart. We said.
She's smart. Nope. So, okay, let's get into more recent terms. As you said, Claire and Xavier is on the block. Well, the veto was played. I actually don't have the list of who played on the veto. I'm sorry.
But who won the veto?
But I will tell you that DX did not play in the veto.
Okay. So this would have worked then.
Right? I don't believe Hannah played in the veto as well.
Okay. Only 3 would have not.
And was it Alyssa? Possibly. So, who wins the veto? Take a guess.
Xavier.
X gonna give it to you. He takes himself off the block.
Woo!
Stop, drop, shut him down, open up shop. Whoa.
Yeah.
So,
Operation No Man's.
um, so everyone pretty much concludes that the person going up is ... as the
DX.
replacement.
Ozza.
DX. And so what is going to happen is it truly indeed a proper backdoor where the person is not made aware, does not play in the veto, and is just put on the block with no chance to protect himself from going home.
There's no such thing as a back door when everybody's playing in the veto. I told you it's a screen door. Yeah.
It's a screen door. No, yeah, right. So this is a true. Okay, so so Sarah Beth is going. They're going to take the shot here at Derek X. You're saying?
Oh, sorry.
They're going to take the
comment.
Well, just remember.
Do you know what? How do I know that song? I've been alive for 30 years.
What song's that?
It's the Rough Riders anthem.
Rough Riders anthem.
Oh, I would love for you to attempt to do that song, Dave. Next
I don't know it.
game.
Yeah, I'd have to learn it.
You can learn it.
Oh, is that the one like that Julie Chen was singing?
No, that's
California Love.
Yeah, California Love. I want you to practice your growls.
My growls.
What?
You gotta do what?
What?
All right, I'll work on that.
R.I.P. DMX. He just died this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. DX. Because gone. God.
Yeah.
You never saw it coming.
So who am I cheering for now in this season? Just as
Ozza,
audience. Who is the audience cheering for? Yeah, is it Ozza? Is it Derek F? Or is the audience really going to start cheering for Derek F to win this game?
Claire got $100.
Is Claire the person we're going to cheer for?
I think at this point, I think they're going to be pulling for Claire, Sarah Beth, and Alyssa, which like Alyssa goes on like this dominant like winning spree. Like
I guess
I don't think it happened.
I think Derek F right now is the most likely to win America's favorite house guest.
Well, Derek F?
Yeah,
no, man, Derek X is winning that. X got it locked up.
No, he's not now. He's getting if he gets voted out this week, there's no way Derek X wins.
I disagree with that completely.
He'll be forgotten.
No way.
No.
He's in the jury.
If he's the second, if he becomes the second jury member, by the time we get to jury number 9, Derek X's popularity will be a drop.
Dude,
that doesn't matter.
Every week they now have something to hang Hannah's hat on, and Hannah's gonna mention, "Oh, DX is gone, and I'm by myself." They're gonna do that every week until she's gone. He's gonna make an appearance, or they're gonna do I
will be shocked if he wins America's Favorite House Guest from the second juror position.
I'm willing to put money down on this.
I agree with
bones.
I'm willing to put money down on this. Derek F will beat Derek X.
No way. Right?
No.
Our viewers, you guys are a witness. 50 bones. I say
50 bones.
Wins.
I'm going to write it down in my book here so I don't forget.
I agree with Jaemeel. So, I mean, I'll take.
You think Derek?
Too, I guess.
Why is he so popular? He's not that bright of a player. He's a nice guy. I get it. But
he's the only person in the house that I think people were cheering for the whole season.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you have to look at that, Dave. Like I think when you look at a majority alliance that just dominates and it's secret and nobody knows about it, and the best player in the house is going to get backdoored in a way that's kind of like, it just sucks. It's just like inevitable that he was going to go out in a crappy way. And this is why I said that him taking out Christian was a huge mistake for him. And he should have known that, but he didn't know about this big alliance. And that's the thing about this season is that this secret alliance is really not only that has changed everything, but all these people have closer people that they're closer to. Like Hannah is like supposed to be closer to DX, and Brittany was as Anaza, and all these different people. But nobody ever lets the secret out. So it completely changes the way players would have played. Right. If it had come out at any point, so
Yeah, and touche, Sam, that Davon did win America's favorite house guest from the second juror position. However, that was a very unlikable cast. That Davon, she sort of rose to the top of a bunch of
I
unlikable
think
people.
history's gonna look back at this season just the same.
I like who do you guys like Derek F though? Like, don't you find him like he's rootable?
He's entertaining for the show, but I wouldn't want him to win America's favorite player.
I think Brittany has a better chance of winning America's favorite player than even a lot of the players still left in the house. Kylan ain't winning it. Sarah Beth ain't winning it. Hannah ain't winning it. You know, like there's a bunch. Az is not like just go through the people who ain't winning it, Dave, and that default DX is going to win it. You know, Xavier could win it, but he's getting to the final two. Let's be real.
I think it comes down to the two Dereks.
I don't think so.
I think they'll say when they announce the final three, I bet you both Dereks are in the final three, top three.
I think Brittany will be there too. I think you'll be shocked, but I think she'll be there
from the first juror.
Is that additional side bet? You're saying both Dereks are going to be in the top three?
I say both Dereks in the top three for an extra 10 bones.
Extra 10 bones?
Yeah, for top.
I will take that bet. I will bet against that.
All right. We are on with Jaemeel.
Yes, I love these side bets. Okay, so Alliance information. Tiffany has been laying the groundwork against Xavier with the house, have been kind of poisoning the well with him. Ooh.
Sam says Brittany DX and DF for top three, and with Brittany winning. I don't think Brittany's winning this, but we'll see.
We'll see. She can do some work in the jury house.
I think she could be in the top three, but I don't think she'll win. I think she's just. I don't think she's as universal. Well, she won the $100. She got 100 BB bucks. So, sorry, go on, Jaemeel. Tell me what's going on with the Alliance.
So Tiffany's been poisoning the well with Xavier. Xavier and Hannah have been pretty close. Hannah have been pretty close. Hannah, and Tiffany's been putting in work, and Hannah's kind of looking at Xavier a little side-eyed as of late. So right now they're looking for a final three, right? Is supposed to be Tiffany, Hannah, and Azza.
That's not going to happen if they don't win anything.
Yes.
Is it the women of the cookout? Right?
Like, I can see like Kylan being eaten by the group, because I think everyone kind of dislikes Kylan. But if Kylan's gone, who's taking out Xavier unless he slips on a banana peel? All right, like
they should have got him out this week had he not won this veto. You know,
yeah.
Here's a question, a hot take from Sam. He wants to know: do you think Alyssa is playing a game similar to Lisa from Big Brother 3?
It's going back a while.
Deep cut, guys.
She's playing a game. All right, let me put it to you this way, Sam. She's playing a game where she literally doesn't care about talking to anyone else in the house except Xavier. So she's hoping Xavier just drags her to the end, which isn't going to happen. She's playing a terrible game. There's no fight in her. She basically just sits in the couch in the middle of everyone and goes, "Hey, what's going on?" Like every show, we're getting a different scene. She's like sipping coffee in like the living room and is like, "Hey, Derek X, what's going on?" And then next week it'll be whoever's going home, and she'll be sipping the coffee talking to that person, and it'll just go on and on. It'll go until it's her turn to go home.
Right. Yeah. I agree with you completely. Lisa had a showmance with Eric, and then she lost that showmance. That's where he's drawing the comparison. So, but is it that Alyssa lost her boo in Christian? Has that been her downfall?
No, she was doing this before Christian went home. She was literally just in the room with Christian doing nothing, and this is how she was playing, and she was hoping that just her beauty and privilege, I guess, would get her far in the game, and now it didn't work out, and she has no fight in her. And so I don't want to cheer for her because she's not showing me any reason to cheer for her. You know,
I will never die. Alyssa is here. Yes.
Yeah. What happened to that, Alyssa? Where is that on the show?
We're the big swings.
Oh yeah.
We're the big swings.
Yeah. Yes. Alyssa wins valid since was only the roulette player. Is her win valid because she was the only one?
She doesn't know that.
No.
She doesn't know that. So like that's my perspective. Like she thinks she beat somebody probably. So she thinks
Everyone's gonna compare notes. It's like, did you compete for the
yeah, and then they'll
roulette?
figure it out,
No.
and then she won by default. And then, did they know that she was going to do this? Do you know, Jaemeel? If they knew that she would
Yes.
play, yeah,
Yes, they knew she was gonna play. Considering why she took Xavier off the block, supposedly she was told by SB.
Derek F, you mean?
Sorry, yeah, she took Derek F off the block. Supposedly she was told by SB to do so.
Okay. If
Sure,
I when I like I'd like to think if I ever got to play Big Brother, I wouldn't like this whole thing of like wanting to do what the house the head household wants is like this is the thing. This is the thing I would want to push back against the most, right? Like, who cares what Sarah Beth wants you to do?
It's Paul Abrahamian's fault, Dave. It's his fault. I've no time for this strategy. This whole idea that you cower because the HOH may be mad at you.
Well, I don't get it. I don't get what Alyssa wants. Like, because we're down to final 9. She was safe. Once she won this competition, she had safety. Right. So therefore she has an opportunity here to like maybe shake it up, maybe change up the game. But she can't handle that she's not in power, not in the popular group, not in the group with power. So she's just in a depression about it, and it sucks. It's also because I think she feels like she should win competitions for herself, and
I blew it.
Yeah, she blew it. So that's Alyssa.
That's how it goes.
She sucks.
What do you think? What's the percentage chance Cookout does not win the next HOH as well? Is it 50-50?
What was the last one? Was balanced
10%. 10%.
What do they have? They have Vito coming up in next episode.
Sarah Beth can't play.
Vito's going to be pretty straightforward.
Right? Derek X might be the one voted out. Right?
Yeah, so it's literally Claire has to win it. Claire or Alyssa have to win it. That's it.
It's not going to be double eviction. The earliest double eviction is the following week.
Week 9 is going to be the double eviction?
Well, I'm just saying the earliest it can be. It can't be this coming week. Can't do double eviction this week.
Mm-hmm. Right? I think once we do get the double eviction, we're going to see this game change up in a lot of ways. I think it's going to be completely.
I think we'll just be further along in our end game. What's going to be in this episode? It's still too recent from an endurance competition. I still think they're going to do slip and slide. I mentioned that before. I just have a feeling they're going to do slip and slide.
Could very well be. Yeah.
And then Derek F is going to complain because it's only for skinny bitches.
Yeah.
Right? Why can't I just lift something?
But is he able to lift more than anybody in the house? I don't think Derek F is like the strongest.
No, I think he probably is.
I would
the
imagine
strongest.
You think he's got the biggest
instead of deadlift? In terms of deadlift, yes, but in terms of like being the quote unquote strongest, deadlift doesn't necessarily mean you're the strongest, right? That's only a specific type of lift, right?
No,
how long
exactly.
can you lift it? Xavier's going to hold out a lot longer than DF.
I would think so. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And even Kylan, I would give Kylan over him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just hope it's not Kylan. I don't want another Kylan HOH. Can we just not have that?
Please.
That's my biggest hope for Thursday.
Azza.
Kylan. What if it's Hana?
Like, anybody but Kylan, I'm good with for the next one.
Why? Like she's just gonna put up whoever at the cookout wins. It's Claire and Alyssa going on the block, and that's what's gonna happen.
Right.
So
is what it is.
What does it matter? What does it matter if Kylan wins? It doesn't matter at all.
Well, maybe the coin of destiny will mix it all up.
It's revenge for Brittany.
Or the coin of destiny, Jeff.
Well, if that happens, Jaemeel, and Azza wins something like that and gets to be the silent arbiter, like with this coin of destiny, and gets to put up and she turns on the cookout, but silently, and makes everyone think it's Alyssa or Claire doing it. Oh, that would be a good move. I would like to see that.
Yeah, that'd be something.
There's still chances that this season doesn't play out how it's scripted. So,
BB, and I just gave you my optimism.
Okay, so is there anything else on the spoiler news that we should know?
No.
Has the veto actually happened? Is the veto been played
tomorrow, I believe?
So, and does Derek X know this is coming?
Yes, he's already asked. Claire was crying in the bathtub. She was crying after Xavier won.
Tears of joy because she'll know she'll be
No.
sitting next to Derek X.
Because she like kind of has a feeling that DX is going home and that her chances of being able to kind of go further in the game is really coming to an end. Because they were kind of bonding, as we've seen of late, kind of working together on the side outside of Hannah. Right. And now she kind of feels like all I have is Tiffany, and I don't even really feel like an equal partner with Tiffany.
Right. Oh. Well,
yeah.
She shouldn't have cried in the shower.
No crying in the shower.
Cry where people can see you.
Yeah. In baseball. Okay. All right. There's no crying in baseball. All right. Let's. I think that's it then for tonight's episode. I think this was a successful first stream here on StreamYard and also to Twitch. On our Star Trek side, we'll be back Monday night to talk about Star Trek: The Original Series, or here on Super Mader, we'll be back Wednesday for our next podcast to talk about the Wednesday veto and to seeing how this all plays out and Claire crying.
Yeah.
And of course, and also trivial debates on Sunday. So it was a busy week for the Super Mader Brothers podcasting network. I can't even talk. So yes.
But before you go,
couple mentions.
Everyone who's watched us on Facebook and YouTube, greatly appreciated. But if you do, no, we weren't. We were using a program called Be Live. Sam was asking. I thought you guys were always using StreamYard. We weren't. We were using Be Live.
Yes.
But some of us
just made the switch today.
Push us into other platforms. All I would strongly suggest is if you do have an option of Twitch, even if you don't want to watch us live on Twitch, please subscribe. That would be awesome. Hey, subscribe to all the other channels. You have YouTube, subscribe to YouTube, as well as Facebook, as well as Twitch. Subscribe it all.
Subscribe it all. Subscribe it up.
Yeah.
And also
Tell all your friends.
Check out our other our friends' podcasts. My son has a podcast called Let's Talk About Fighting Games. You can find it on Spotify. And also our cousin Davin. He has his podcast with his friend Dave. It's called Locutors of Trek, which they talk about intellectual Star Trek issues, all kinds. Davin sits in on our Thursday podcast. Check those out as well. Okay, and with that, we'll leave you with some wisdom from Julie Chen to take us away for tonight, guys. Hold on, just pull this down and we'll just put the banner up. All right, and with that, was where she is.
From outside the Big Brother house, I'm Julie Chen Moonves, and remember to always exercise empathy and wisdom.